wall there.
What's up, World Wide Web? It's Jess, and this is my September comic wrap-up. I suppose I should give it a little bit of explanation for this. I made this a couple of days ago for my Year 12 NDV breakfast celebration thing where I get to dress up, and I'm going as Robin because Robin is cool. And I felt appropriate to dress up for my comic wrap-up, even though I didn't really read any Robin comics. The first comic I read this month was Miss Marvel number 8, Generation Y, in which Miss Marvel teams up with a giant dog called Lockjaw, and hilarity ensues. Well, except for the end. The end bit is not quite hilarious. But overall, I really enjoyed this comic. And if you've been watching this channel for a bit, you know I'm a big fan of this series, and look forward to it every month. The next two comics I read this month was Sensation Comics, featuring Wonder Woman number 1 and number 2, and they were sensational. So I did there. Made a pun, but in all seriousness, I really enjoyed it. These two comics are like part 1 and part 2 of this story called Gotham Amazon, in which Wonder Woman has to go to Gotham and fight like most of Batman's rogues because Batman's not available at this time. So Wonder Woman comes, she has like Wonder Woman rings, and it's just awesome. Really enjoyed this. I'm slowly becoming really interested in Wonder Woman. The next two comics I read this month was Batman, Harley and Ivy number 2 and number 3. I read number 1 back in July and thought that this month, September, I would finish the little mini-series from like 2004. And I gotta tell you, this series is hilarious. Harley and Ivy have to leave Gotham. They're in prison, they break out of prison, they leave Gotham. And the third issue is a little bit weird. It's set a couple months after the second issue. And it's really, that's probably my favorite one actually. It's just so funny. They try and make a movie. They're making a movie based on Harley and Ivy. And so they kind of take over because they're actually not involved in the movie. And then they kind of take over. And it's just really funny. And Harley is like obsessed with like sparkles, and she's like ends up being director. And it's just a really funny series. I highly recommend them. Next two comics I read were Batwoman number 1 and number 2 from the New 52. These came out in like 2011. I'm way behind in the series, but I thought I'll start it. I read number 1 like a while ago, but I thought I'd reread it because I kind of forgot what was going on before I read number 2. And I really enjoyed it. She's pretty much on this like hunt for like this kind of urban legend that's not really an urban legend anymore. And these children are going missing. It's really interesting and the art's beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to continuing on with the series. The next 9 comics I read were Batgirl Year 1, issues 1 to 9, which is like the whole series. And Robin does make an appearance, so this costume is not completely awkward for this video. I love this. I really enjoyed this. It was a long sort of story, because I've read Batman Year 1 was only 4 issues. I mean, the middle of reading Robin Year 1 was also only 4 issues, but for some reason Batgirl Year 1 is 9 issues, but totally I think it needed it. The way the story went, it didn't feel like it was stretching out too long. Everything felt like it needed to be there. It was really funny, it was really cute, and it was really like entertaining and sort of interesting how she sort of became Batgirl, because kind of was an accident, but kind of wasn't. It's just really interesting to sort of see, because I mean, I like Batgirl, but I've never been really into Batgirl, but this sort of made me want to read more Batgirl, because she's kind of cool. And the last comic I read this month was Hacktivist, issue 1, and I didn't really like this as much as I like all the other comics I read this month. It had an interesting premise. It's about these two guys who own like a software company, and they develop this app, but they're sort of using it to hack into the systems in Tunisia to help the Tunisians with like their revolutions going on in there. It's really interesting concept, but I just feel like the execution of it should have been better. I felt a little, I don't know, I guess this is only the first issue of the story. I think the story goes for 4 issues. So, I mean, I don't know if I want to continue on, but if I continue on, it might get better, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's all the comics I read this month. Pretty good reading comic-y month. A pretty good comic month. So this is a new thing I'm going to do. Instead of having my comics in my book wrap-ups, I decided to separate them. Especially this month I read a lot more comics than book. But I still read a couple of books, so it would have been like a long video. So to shortening up the videos, I'm separating them. Leave me some recommendations in the comments below of what comics that you think I would like. I'm pretty much open to anything. Yeah, and tell me also if you've read any of these, what you thought of them, or just leave me a comment saying you enjoyed this video. I don't know. I like comments. And, thank you for watching, and until next month, toodles!